Good morning or afternoon, everybody. Okay, so what I'm doing now is a quick update. As you can see from that big bare spot over there, I've sold my 85 Suzuki Intruder 750, which was where my videos all started. And now I have a 1400. And I said in an earlier video that I would be doing some work on this soon. Unbeknownst to me, it was a bit sooner than I'd hoped. So what I found was my stator on my 1400 is dead, so I need to replace it. Now I did all this tests on it to find out that it was the stator. I forgot to do a video on that, so I will do one on that later on how to test them. But for now, I'm doing a video on how to replace it. So let's start with removal of the seats. So on the Intruder 1400, you have your backrest right here, and like on this 750s here, you got your little toolbox in here. So you pull the backrest off, you unlock it, and this will actually come right off, unlike the 750. Pull that right off, and down in here is the bolt for the back seat. So you undo the single bolt for the back seat. Mine broke, so I had to drill and tap it. Or so I just drilled it and put a nut and bolt on it. So be careful if you don't want to do that, to make sure you lube. Put lots of lube on it. Anyway, so pull that off, and then there's a bracket right here. It just slides forward and comes off the bracket. It's similar to the bracket on the 750. Except it's for the back seat is what clips into the bracket as opposed to the front seat. So once you get that off, then you pull the bracket off with these two screws here, pull off the bracket, and then your front seat slides in a bracket up there, and then bolts to the bracket back here. Now your ignition stuff is all bolted to your seat, so you either pull that off your seat if you want to leave it plugged in, or you can just unplug it and remove the seat. I'm leaving it plugged in because I'm not sure what I need to do as far as this all goes yet, so I'm leaving it plugged in for now. But you do have to remove the seat, so for now I'm just leaving it up like that. That's how you pull the seat off. The side cover is just two screws at the top. That's it. There's no grommets on this one. Just these two screws right here. Pull them off, pull the cover off. And that's how you get the seat and cover off. I will do a proper video on that later on, but for now, just a quick review so you guys can do it if you have to. So now what I'm doing is also pulled off this cover for your clutch cover, for your clutch display filter and all that. That's the same as it is on the 750, so you just pull out the 4 bolts, it comes out. And then I have got your wiring harness here, so I've traced the one for the stator. Okay, and it goes up under here and up into there. I'm not sure how well you'll see that, but right behind the ignition here is a little clip, like a little binding strap, or I can't think of the name of the stupid thing at this point, but anyway, so I'm gonna trace that all the way up, and it unplugs right here. It's the 3 yellow wires. Okay, unplug that, and that'll be part of your stator. So once you can trace that all the way down, you unplug that, and I'm pretty sure you'll have to unplug this one as well. I don't know until I get up there, but so far that's what I've got done. So once I get that wire traced and unplugged, I will be back. Okay, so with the unplugging, it is the 3 yellow wire, and then it is the one right beside it as well. It's got a green, a blue, a yellow, and a black. Those two have to be unplugged. There's another binding strap right here. I gotta cut that, and then I should be able to run them down and pull them out from the bottom there. Okay, so I got the wires out. Okay, so they run from here down through here beside the carburetor, out through this little hole here, kind of down into there, out the back behind the ignition, and then down behind the engine down here. Okay, and then under the exhaust and all that. So once that's out, then your next step is to pull off this cover. This is your alternator cover. Make sure you have a new gasket for it, and I'd recommend draining the oil first. I'm not gonna, because I'm lazy, and I'm gonna find it the hard way, I'm sure. But anyway, so once I get that done, I will do that. Okay, what it is, actually, I'll give you, there's 1, 2, 3 bolts, which are under the cover here that you've already pulled off, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so now I missed a step, so let me go back a couple. Before you can take that cover off, you got to remove the 8 bolts that hold your foot controls on. They're underneath. You got to remove this shifting lever from the transmission. Okay, so all you do that is you undo this bolt, get a wedge or something to spread that a little bit, and that should slide right off. And that's just so you can bring it down, so you can get the bolt that's right here, and so that you can move this to get the bolt that's behind it there. So once you get that done, then you take that cover off. So there's 3 bolts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more, and that's off. Take your bolts out, put them in an order so you know how they go back in, because they are longer and shorter, so they have to go back in where they came from. Okay, so I got the bolts out of the stator, or out of the stator cover, sorry. Now I'm going to show you a little trick. Drew a picture of the cover, with a bad picture, and I put the bolts in the picture where they should be in the cover, and that way when you go to put it back together, you know where each bolt goes. I also did the same thing with the bolts for the foot controls, because on the foot controls, the outside ones have holes for cotter pins, and the inside ones don't. So I just wanted to keep them marked so I know where they go back. Alright, so I'm going to film a little bit of this until I get frustrated and annoyed, and then I start cursing and swearing, and then I'm going to turn the camera off and come back when I got it off. So make sure that that's out of the way. Now I might have to remove this completely, I really hope not, but I might have to. So let's see if we can get it off first though. So the little spot right there, that little tab there, get a screwdriver in behind there, and just pry on the frame, it'll pop off. So now we just gotta fight with the magnet to get it off completely. Yeah, so I got the cover off. It wasn't that bad. So like I showed earlier, there's a little tab on the cover right about here. You can pry it, I guess, try and pop it off. Pry it lightly, don't break it. And then you got to watch out for this here and this here. These are they sit inside the cover. And when I pulled mine off, they tried to come out with, and in fact one of them did fall out. So just be careful of that when you're pulling it out. Make sure you know which way to go back in. Just keep an eye on it. Don't lose your dowels here. You got one here and one here. And I don't think there's one on the bottom, not just there and there. So watch out for those. My recommendation is to drain the oil first, because I didn't. I figured I'd just let it drain out of the cover when I pulled it off. And then, of course, I forgot to move my pan under it, and look at the mess I made. So now I got to clean up that. So, yeah, I recommend draining the oil first. Anyway, so now that the cover is off, I got it up on the bench. Make sure you lay a rag down so you don't scratch your chrome. So this here is your stator. So to pull this off, let me see if I can get more light here. There we go. So there's your stator. Right there. So to pull it off, there's 3 bolts. Pull them off. Pull off your clip here. And take these things out as well. At least my stator that I'm getting is going to come with all that. So I'm going to replace all of it. And then you pull your little grommet out here. Let's get the gasket off there, sorry. So you're going to pull the grommet out. And the other one will have one that goes on there. So that's pretty much it for changing your stator. You just, like I say, pull it off, put the new one on exactly. Remember wherever all these bolts go. And just put it back on the same way it came off, and then put it all back together the same way it came apart. Make sure you put a new gasket on, and there you go.